Hello and welcome. My name is Vex, and today we've got a ton of interesting news coming for like post-alpha Godforge. Today we've got two videos. I stacked them up because last week's video was kind of short. The first video we're going to take a look at just came out today. Tuesday is typically the day where we get sort of behind-the-scenes Godforge stuff from the Fateless crew. We're going to be talking about some of the upcoming characters that are being put into the game. Who knows if they'll make it into the alpha. And then the second video we watch is like a short video from last week talking about what we can expect in the alpha. So let's stop yapping and get to it.
Hey guys, this is Simon from Fateless. Bit of a different one today. We're going to be going over some of the new concepts, some of the new 3D characters we've got in the game, some of their animations, VFX, some environments, all that stuff. Basically the building of the game. We have to keep all of that going whilst we're still prepping for the alpha experience. A lot of you have had your emails over the last few days.
I got my email
saying, yes, we'd love for you guys to be involved in the alpha, and you should keep an eye out for both those emails. Perhaps check your spam or junk folders in case they've gone there. The email will be talking about the Godforge Alpha if you want to like search those words. And then, yeah, in the next couple of weeks, we will be telling you.
They basically said there's 3 waves of the alpha. There's going to be 2 individual waves with a little bit of time in between them. And then a little bit of time in between those and the final wave, the third wave, is going to be a stress wave. So basically anybody who signed up previous to the current round of like beta signups or whatever is likely to get in, and that wave is going to be the challenge mode, like who can do the most damage or who can get through the fastest. You know, that's going to be on the final wave.
Exactly what wave you will be in for the alpha if you are involved. Now, this type of video it's really about just showing you all of the work that's going on behind the scenes, making sure that you guys are aware of the cool heroes that we're building and the cool work that the art team are doing. So Dane and the kind of like art leaders, Damon, Dan, they present this stuff to myself and Sham once every couple of weeks, and I just like to grab a few of those for you. So yeah, let's crack on. Oh, by the way, there is a Godforge YouTube channel now as well if you've not seen that, with a lot of the official.
Yeah, I didn't do a react to the soundtrack, just because like I'm not like a music person. Like I like music, but I only try to critique and react to things that I feel like I have like a stake in or whatever, unless it's like a Dead Mall video, which is just like funny to watch. That's totally separate. By the way, if you didn't know, we record these live in front of a studio audience. So Twitch link down in the description. Anyway, I didn't react to these because like, yeah, I like them. They're interesting, but I'm not like a composer, you know. I have no stake in the game when it comes to music.
Official content. So that'll be things like the Godforge soundtrack is already released on there. Things like the cinematic will live there. And when we do like the official patch notes, they will go onto the Godforge YouTube channel as well. So this is more like a behind the scenes dev type of channel, whereas the Godforge one will be like the official one for releases and stuff. Okay, let's jump on. So no particular order here. I just thought I'd bring some cool stuff. So let's kick off with a new rare concept that's just coming through. Labu with his big.
So we were talking about this in the Discord earlier. So Simon is like, he's like known for not being able to pronounce things. Even if told how to pronounce it, he'll just like butcher it. And like, we were poking fun a little bit earlier today. And we were having a conversation about how to pronounce this character's name. And like, I'm going to be annoying about the Tian faction and how to pronounce their names, just like I'm annoying about Zenless, Star Rail, Genshin, all of these Chinese related games, all these games that come from China, because I loosely, not anymore, I don't study anymore, but I in the past spoke Mandarin, and I'm like, yeah, I really like Chinese lore. I like Chinese culture, like ancient culture. And the Tian faction is definitely like my faction, which is why I'm so obsessed with Wukong, because he's just like the most powerful deity and like the coolest, right? So we were having a debate on like how to say this person's name. So if you look, maybe I shouldn't have done this during this video because it's gonna drag it out so long. When the game comes out, I'm gonna put out a pronunciation guide on the entire Tian faction. So if you look at this guy's name, they don't have in their art attack, it says Lu Bu. They don't have the umlaut. So if they just keep this in game without the umlaut, you could just like say Lu Bu or whatever. People in the Discord have been like, "Oh, you say it like Li Bu," and that is not correct. But I don't know how to describe, because I'm not a teacher. I was taught this 10 plus years ago. So, and I don't know what umlauts sound like in other languages, right? Like I think Swedish uses a, maybe, I don't know, does any of the Cyrillic alphabet languages use them? I have no idea. So you say it depending on the tone. I don't really know what the tone of this person's name would be, but I'm gonna assume a tone for a second. So the word for girl in Chinese is NU, third tone with an umlaut. So you say it, my mouth is still a little bit numb. You say it like nü, which is such a weird sound. It's so weird. If you say girlfriend, you say nü peng yo. It's that. So you would say lü bu, depending on the tones. I don't know how it is. If you hit this thing, you can hear it.
Lü bu.
He says lü bu.
Lü bu.
And it kind of sounds like he's saying Li Bu, so I can understand the confusion. Lü Bu. Just say Lu Bu. Like, I promise you it'll be okay.
Bad axe. Check out the axe, man.
But he looks so sick. I love his like
actually super
plumes.
sweet. Yeah,
And
we've
it's like
got
it's my favorite color combination, the black, white, and red.
the cool kind of like
It's
hair
so good.
coming back, which could probably be used as a weapon as well. But yeah, you can just see the different call outs that the concept team go through here to make sure that the 3D team have got the right materials and the right colors and the right
I don't know what
shapes so
that's
that when they're
called, that
building-
weapon, but it's
Now,
pretty interesting.
A great smile takes you great places, right? That's why I take such great care of my teeth. The
I was just at
dentist-
the dentist.
the different heroes, they've got all of the information that they would need.
That's why my mouth's numb.
We've also got Luo Shen.
So we got another name. We got Luo Shen. Luo Shen. I don't know who this person's meant to be. I think we're in like rare territory, so we're probably in like, known figures in history.
Here, in her final 2D render.
She looks
Her
really
weapon
cool.
is
I like
gonna
the
be
jade
a fan, which she'll flick
colors.
out and go kung fu style on us. But again, looking pretty damn sweet. This one has been kicking around.
Oh, we
for a
don't know
while,
who this
but,
is.
I just wanted to throw it back in.
There's some
because of the
speculation,
weapon
but-
exploration. So good, actually. Like, damn, I would be like, any of those weapons, yes, please.
That one looks really cool.
Really, really cool. So we've got Chernobog here. Basically is almost like an evil figure, the black god from Slavic mythology. So there's also a white god, which
Yeah,
I showed you,
we
which
knew
was
about
Belobog. So
Belobog.
these two are kind of like a bit yin and yang, like the opposite forces, really. So pretty sweet design here with the wings coming up. I love the kind of like red and black with gold as well. We've got the weapon here on the right hand side.
I think the
as
wings
well.
that they
Super
do in
sweet.
game look pretty good.
Looking cool. That's the 2D concept there. We go
Like
in a different
on-
direction here to Sanu,
Who had Freya had wings?
which I think is going to be a massive favorite with a lot of people
Says
in this game.
Susanu.
Susanu with this kind of
Susano.
like lightning effect coming off of
He looks
his,
really
his
cool.
kind of like shoulder here. They're just showing some of the VFX that we could get done.
If they
But
can
yeah,
really
calling
get
out-
the like, what's that called? the like folding of steel. What's that treatment called? Susanoo, yeah. There's like the Japanese katana forging method where they like stamp and fold the blade like a million times, and it creates like a really beautiful pattern, but it's also like it like frees any impurities and it makes it like pretty sturdy. Can't remember what it's called.
Things like the dragon chest tattoo.
If
some
they
of
can
the
get that
armor, that would be used. His weapon as well.
clear
looking
on his
pretty
weapon, I
damn
think it would look
sweet.
really good.
But yeah, again, I think this one's going to be absolutely unreal. We've got another concept here for a rare Changi.
Oh.
Yeah, again, just
This is kind of another one that I don't expect people to be able to pronounce, at least at first. So instead, it's not Changi. That's like the wasn't there an R&B artist called Chingy, I think. Anyway, it's not Chang'e, it's Chong-e, which is such a weird, like, maybe if you wouldn't have ever experienced that E sound, you wouldn't know, but it's Chong-e.
just making use of other elements that we've got already in.
It's a way of making small amounts of low-quality material useful for larger tools. Right,
the game.
right.
We're able to make use of actually Freya's kind of like chess piece here, but again, you wouldn't know it with the final designs. Poludnitsa, an epic here.
We were also talking about which factions would be the hardest for us to pronounce, and I think the Virage and the like the Mayan Aztec-y sort of faction, I think those are going to be the hardest for me.
Virage faction, again, you can just kind of see where we're making use of other
I love the
characters in the
like
game,
roses
already,
on
other
her head.
heroes, but quite subtly. So this one is going to be using some of the sort of hair that's already been built.
Tarnish. Elden Ring crossover.
That nice framing of the face. This one's got kind of like dark vibes. I really like it actually. So you got like the sickle weapon, smoldering edges on some of the petals just to kind of bring it to life. But yeah, very voluptuous Polonitsa from Virage.
Why
Another really
did
cool one
he
here. What's
say
his guy's
that?
name? Shangi.
So
To kind of bring it to life. But yeah, very
I didn't wanna-
voluptuous Polonitsa.
I want to get
from
this guy's
Virage.
name.
Another
So I think he just misread the name, but this is Shangdi, another sort of notable person in like ancient Chinese history. And I want you to listen to his description of this character.
really cool one here. What's this guy's name? Shangi, like the old wise samurai dude. Oh, man, again, so
Come on, Simon. If you've made it this far in the video, I don't know, maybe it was early or late when you filmed this, but a samurai? This guy's very clearly Chinese. There's a Tai Chi sword on screen.
some of these call outs are super sweet. I love
And if he goes into the Japanese faction, I'm gonna lose it. But he's like a Chinese figure.
the scheme here, the visual, this kind of
Even the
like,
hairpiece.
I guess it's a crown or whatever you would call this on his head, just with so much detail with the dragon sitting there. Just like
So funny.
straight out of film, the wise samurai that you
wise
definitely
samurai.
don't want to mess with, right? Almost like a wizard style. Very, very cool.
This
We've
is so
got a
funny.
2D render here.
Oh, yeah.
Svarog. So basically a weapon.
This Farog looks way different than the Honkai Star Rail's Farog.
He's got an anvil strapped to his back. He's got a big mallet with the same sort of symbols, I guess, or yeah, same sort of visual here for his mallet as well as his anvil.
He looks really
You
good.
can see he's got his kind of like tongs ready. All of his weapons and tools are just there, ready to go. But again, this kind of like cool front, you know, armorers kind of like greaves and chest plate here. Super sweet.
This is the
very
new
different from
this is the
anything else
new
we've got in the
dwarven subrace for World of
game.
Warcraft.
So yeah, really cool. And then you can already see here, he's taking first sort of phases towards being made into 3D. So he's not finished yet. It's not like final piece, but it's like just making sure we've got all of the shapes in the right
Could
places.
have cool animations
and
on
the
it.
sort of block out done as he moves through towards like high res. This one's one of my favorite 2D ones I've seen
God.
in a while. This is XP, I think you call it, Totec. I don't know, man.
He looks
feels
like,
a totem pole.
Is this from Hellraiser? Kind of reminds me of a Cenobite. I don't know any like I'm not gonna be able to pronounce. I have to look up a pronunciation guide for this because like holy heck.
But as a dude. And
Human
if you can
skin
see like the close up here of his face,
quilt. What
it's
the
kind
heck?
of basically he's a cannibal.
Captain Planet villain.
He's got
Yeah.
this kind of like fleshy face, like skull. He's got like some wild boar fur on his hands. Just kind
Very
of gross, but
Zandalari as well.
Insanely cool at the same time. You can see he's basically been flayed. I think he's like the flayed man. So you can see where they've got all of these call outs to what flayed skin would look
Man, I
like.
hope we
And
get to
then his
learn some
weapon's
lore.
got this kind of like cheeky tongue out, taking some references from the mythology, but so cool. Absolutely insanely good. So I can't wait to see this one come through to 3D.
Guys, with the intense summer heat, there are a lot of
Get
people
outta
struggling to
here
keep their house cool.
With these
You do-
ads.
We've had a placeholder Excalibur in-game
It's Frostmourne.
for a while. So you can see here the new design.
I think the interesting thing here is when I was looking at this earlier, it says blade on waterlogged Excalibur should look a bit rusty. So there's two different versions of Excalibur / waterlog. So either it's maybe a skin or there's two different versions of the weapon. Maybe one is a purified version, maybe it does more, or they're just two separate weapons, like as a whole.
And for Excalibur, which is going to be built out for King Arthur real soon. But yeah, much more like what we need for that legendary weapon. So King Arthur's sword coming through soon. Himiko, this is Himiko 3D. Again, this is the high poly, so it's not like full texture and
like
that
her
type
hair.
of stuff. It's more about just making sure that everything is lined up properly, feels right. You
Staff
can see
looks
the
really cool,
concept
too.
here on the left-hand side. But yeah, the team at Locksha doing great work
Yeah,
on this
yeah.
3D. Got another one here, Montezumu.
Oh,
Zuma,
Montezuma.
sorry. Again,
He's
this is
also
block-
got a bat, just like Lady Zoc. These, oh man, I forget the name of the new Omayakon? Is it the new name for the faction? Lady Zoc with the bat and Montezuma with the bat. Heck yeah. I'm here for it.
block out, so it's not like final textures and stuff like that. It's just making sure that all the shapes are right, the colors are right, but not detailed. So the detailing comes next. This one is fully 3D.
Oh, yes.
tier-long.
So this is not my favorite. I mean, it's pretty generic. It's not my favorite theoretical Tian character. This might even be like a boss. I could see the dragon being the boss. But the name, Tianlong. So the Tian faction, so they have a Jade Empire here, but theoretically they haven't switched back to Jade Empire and it's the Tian Empire or something like that. Tian means sky, at least in the version that they're doing. And Long means dragon. So it literally just means sky dragon. And I think they've done like a really good job of representing what a sky dragon could look like. I don't know. They must have the toe count correct, because I'm fairly certain that, well, there's a difference between Japanese and Chinese dragons, and really the only yeah, the only difference really is their toe count. Typically they're predicted, or they're what's the word? Predicted. What? I can't get that word out of my head. They're showcased, whatever, we'll use that word. They're showcased holding an orb in one of their claws or one of their hands. And one of the two, Chinese or Japanese, has, I think, 2 claws up top and 1 on the bottom, so 3 total. And the other one has 3 on top and 1 on the bottom, so 4 total. So I'm hoping that they got it right because I can't remember, but yeah.
One of our dragons. Another view of it here.
Man, it looks so cool.
Kael are doing crazy work here with Tian. So there's going to be a bunch of different dragons in game.
We know
well
about
as
the
other
red
creatures that we've
dragon. I
been
can't remember his
seeing.
name though.
I think this might be another favorite here, just because of a bunch of kind of like anime style programs. But yeah, come through really well in 3D. But you can just see, like, I mean, I'm going.
And we got
through
like one
favorite
frame.
here, just because
I had
of
to
a
call
bunch of
for
kind of
help.
like anime style programs. But yeah, come through really
this
well in
one.
3D. But yeah,
Because I saw the Kitsune mask and I was like, oh, this is Kitsune, the character. It's not. It's Amaterasu. We saw 3D. We saw concept art for Amaterasu. Maybe a couple months ago or something. This is like a 3D version. Looks pretty cool. And he just like glosses over it. Come
you
on,
can just
son.
see, like, I mean, I'm going through, and I've cut out maybe half of the ones that we see. So there's just so much going on in these packs. We've got some of the different layouts for our environments coming through. So this is the workshop of Patar. This is one of our kind of like general
Mountain
waves
biome.
for Asgard. So you can see the kind of like cool statues. This is our sort of final render before we go into, or it's already in 3D, but you can just sort of see some of the call outs for Asgard here, the mountain range looking sweet. We've also got some call outs for like how we plan different battlegrounds. So, you know, what's the kind of like fighting space? How much room do we need around our heroes to be able to make that work? You know, what sort of call outs do we want? Where do we want to create different pieces so that
We
can
know
have kind of
things.
like modular dungeons
We know things are
when
going to
we
be
need
modular.
to. So again, lots of work going on with the design work here.
I think we saw something very similar to this in one of the Friday leaks we got a couple months ago.
And then
Like this might have been the dragon, like the dragon's den.
kind of goes
or
into a
whatever.
next stage where it's like, well, what type of things should we be adding in just to kind of make sure that we've got that real feeling of I'm in an environment to fight in. So yeah, again, kind of there's a number of different sketches and thumbnails that get done for this before we end up having with like a color pass and then obviously go into the 3D. This one here actually is now finished and in game, and we're sort of testing it for the alpha already.
Yeah. A third ad? Oh
Now
my
that is a
god.
bundle.
Do I get paid for viewing
This
these?
is your sign to ditch the
That's
wine.
just a
This
fourth
Spring
ad?
Minis collection from Apothecary includes 3 mini versions of their best-selling wine alternative.
So we also create these kind of wallpapers here with some of our big hits.
Oh, it's their version of. Well, that's a large sword. That's not 2 swords, is it? Muramasa.
From the
That's
different
Thor.
mythologies, really just for marketing purposes and stuff like that. But we've got a number of these being created right now with some big call-out heroes, and really just kind of like giving
No,
a
that's
flavour
Odachi.
of what
Or,
Godforge is all
Nobunaga
about.
or whatever.
So Mike doing some awesome work there with the help of kind of like Aaron and the team at Magic Media. Okay, and then we've got stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
portrait design. So
We got Yan Wong, who. How do we think that Simon's going to say this? Is Yan Wong?
you know, we take our hero, we try and get a cool kind of like painted portrait of the hero. We then cut it in the places where we want to so that we get a good feel for the character or the hero in both the sort of roster screen but also in the battle screen. So we try and make one
Makes sense.
portrait do the job of 2 things, but we cut it in a different way depending on the scene that you're in. So here's a couple of examples. This is Yan Wang.
Yan
Then we've got
Wang.
Tengu here as well. So with Tengu,
John
we made
Wayne.
the
You were
kind of
close.
artistic
You were literally close. That's so funny.
decision that although he's got wings, for the battle scene we want to take those wings
Tengu.
out because it doesn't really frame very well. So
Tengu's
stuff
like
that
a
is stuff
crow
that
in
we're
Japanese.
working on all the time. Okay, that's the end of the slideshow. Let's take a look
Ooh,
at
yeah,
some of the kind of like
Quetzalcoatl.
I guess first animations. This is Quetzalcoatl here, ultimate animation without VFX yet. To fly
Well, we
it
know
up
she's
and
a
then
healer.
Bam, she is an invoker. So I guess cool down below. What do you think is going on in this ability? Pretty damn sweet visual.
Maybe like a res.
Really love that. And then we've got Mordred's attacks
well.
here. So let's start with his basic attack. This is a full VFX
I don't know who Mordred is.
coming in. So
Not gonna lie.
we've got the squad in the VFX team working alongside Norbert, who does the sound effects as well. So he's trying to map the sound effects to the visual now
Whoa.
that we're seeing before it then goes to Dirk, who implements in game. This is the ultimate.
Big
Whack.
swipe. Nice.
Love that.
That looked
And
really
then
cool. I like the
finally,
colors.
squad in the VFX team
His bastard son, maybe Mordred. Okay.
working alongside Norbert, who
I don't know. I know about King Arthur. I know about Merlin, and that's it. Literally, that's
does
it.
the sound effects as well. So he's
I
trying
like
to map the
this.
sound effects to the visual now
So he's
that we're
got
seeing
potentially 2
before it
AoEs.
then goes to Dirk, who implements in game.
Hmm.
This is the ultimate.
Kind of looks like Eye of Sauron, like his sword.
Whack. Love
Looks pretty good.
that. And then final one for today, we have got Heimdall ultimate ability
yeah,
coming
yeah.
through.
This
Stay
one I'm not too sure
frosty.
about. Unless it's
Again,
like a heal or something. The like
Ability coming
glittery
through.
sound
Stay
is kind of
frosty.
here. It sounds like after like a fairy places a buff or something. And maybe it is like a high defense buff. Like it doesn't look like he's attacking anything. So he could be like putting up an ice wall to give everybody defense or something like that.
Again, what
It sounds like a yeah, it's definitely meant to be like magic ice, right? But it's, for me personally, invoking a sense of magical buff type thing in like a positive way for you and not an attack. It does sound more like Tinkerbell. Like, I don't, do we get sounds on these?
whack up the sound effects to the visual.
Yeah, these ones sound
So,
like, I mean, this is not
We've
ice.
got the squad in the VFX
But every
team
time it
implements
hits-
in game. This is the ultimate.
Like you hear like a thwack. I mean, there's no enemy here. I don't know if this matters. He doesn't like directly attack. I don't know. I'm just trying to speculate. Anyway, I think that's it for this video.
It's going to be it from
Yeah. So one more pronunciation thing before we move on to the next video. Actually, never mind. I'm pretty sure it's in the next video that we're gonna watch, and we're gonna talk about it. So let's cut to that video. Good luck, future me, finding this in the edit. Okay, before we get started with the second video, I just want to remind everybody we're live essentially now 5 nights a week on Twitch. We're also going to be covering Godforge Alpha when that happens here on YouTube and on Twitch. We're going to be pushing when the competition starts. I'm going to be really pushing and sort of theory crafting. So be tuned in for that. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. If you've made it this far in the video, I appreciate you. Let's stop yapping and get to the video.
Hey guys, this is Simon from Fateless. Today we're going to be looking at Godforge as we make our way towards the alpha. Just talking to the team.
This one's a
internally,
quick
I've
one.
seen a lot of questions on our Discord around when's this alpha going to start? What are we expecting? We're still looking to get the alpha out in July. Anybody who has signed up already, okay, you would have had.
We
an
heard this, we
email.
heard this, we
It
heard
could have
this.
gone to your spam to see all 2 main alpha waves, which would be wave 1 lasting about 10 days.
10
we have then a
days.
period of time where we do any bug fixes and stuff like that. Obviously, this is an alpha test. We're looking to enhance our game. We then have alpha wave 2 for another 10-day period. Again, a bit of bug fixing after that. And then we basically have a free-for-all, which is anybody who has ever signed up to the beta testing, which we had before, and this, anyone who signed up would be eligible to come in and get involved.
Yes.
And for us, that's about testing, the stress of the game with multiple, I guess, more players and that type of thing. So we're at this point now
Okay.
where we're just going through stream by stream, polishing things up.
Have we
Kinda
seen
similar to last
this new screen on any videos I've covered? Maybe.
week, honestly. We do now have the
We talked
caverns
about it, I think.
in the game. We will have a kind of 1-star reward for basically clearing the level, and then a 2-star reward if you.
So we're not
beat
doing a
certain
tower, we're
challenge
doing
that
a
we lay out
cave.
for you. It might be that you get yourself all the way to floor 100 or something, and then come back and do the challenge.
maybe in a previous video, or maybe I'm misremembering, but I'm pretty sure somebody mentioned floor 150.
Challenges if you're not geared up and ready to do the challenges yet. So we do want for people to have a real experience over this kind of alpha, and there will be leaderboards which are kind of like appropriately laid out for that. Each of the different stages now, we're kind of like building out the enemies that you're facing as well, and obviously the different rewards that you'll be getting. So all of that currently in terms of our internal team, we're now playtesting and working through and making sure that feels good. We are obviously making sure that all of the main screens are working correctly and all of the main functionality that you need works correctly. So, you know, for example, and some of this is still being worked
Looks
on
better
right
than
now,
before.
but, you know, being
They're
able
still upgrading.
to level your heroes up, you know, things like having the autofill for food going in, all of these type of different mechanics which are essential for you to enjoy your experience are kind of being worked through. Similarly with gearing, and this is still a little bit shaky right now, but so who knows what's going to happen. But, you know,
I really hope that when the game launches, they're able to make different looking gear sets for every gear set, if that makes sense. So, like, they all look the same. Like, every leg looks the same, but they're different actual sets. You have to look at the little icon. I think it would be a little unimpressive if they spent so much time on characters and didn't make the gear look different. But I'm hopeful that they will.
things like, let me find something that's not fully leveled yet. Okay, this has got no substats, but I can go into the enhanced screen. I can level stuff up, and all of these functions are working and feel good. I could sell it if it's trash. This one, I guess, because
It didn't look like there was any.
the level stuff happen.
I don't know if this is
things
final,
like,
right?
let me
But
find something that's not fully leveled yet.
I
It's
know-
got no substats, but I can go into the enhanced screen.
Yeah.
I can.
I remember when we were first given our sort of leak of what the inventory system is going to be and the video that came with it. At least here we were speculating if it would be similar to like Raid or whatever, where like every time you go to upgrade, it's a chance to upgrade. And the further along on the upgrade path you get, so like level 15 out of 16, to get from 15 to 16 is a smaller chance. Like, you can't just press the upgrade button and it works 100% of the time. We were speculating on if they would bring that mechanic, and at the very least here, it doesn't look like you need it. Or maybe it doesn't kick in till later or whatever, but he just straight up levels it.
Stuff up. And
Interesting.
all of these functions are working and feel good. I could sell it if it's trash. This one, I guess, because I don't know why it shouldn't sell for 0 coins, for example, but I could still do that, and the functionality's working. Looks like some buggy stuff still going on the back end, but all of that is kind of like coming together, and you will be able to equip your gear and your weapons in game, level them up and all that type of stuff, which is obviously what we need you to be able to do. Yeah, when we get to things like or actually I want to show you a couple of cool things here. So what did I want to show you? A couple of really cool ones.
See if I can get.
So I showed this on
Yeah,
Discord.
we know about Heimdall. We just saw his one
Come and join the
ability.
Discord if you haven't already, by the way. You will need to if you're going to be part of one of the alpha waves. We can see Heimdall here looking pretty sweet. I just want to show you his idle break. It's actually so damn good. Come on, Heimdall. Don't let me down. Go on like a random timer. There he goes. Right. Pays homage to the sword. Pretty sweet. Odin's
Donk.
cool one as well.
Yeah, Nobunaga, I think, was in that one splash that we saw earlier.
Giving it the big un. Oda, love it. Great work there from Brandon. Ymir's
We got a
coming to
giant.
the build as another one of our giants, not properly animated yet. Who else have we got in that's kind of fresh faced? I don't know if we've shown Orgoth
Nice.
yet.
That looks sick. That looks like that looks like a cool like bear form.
Looking pretty cool for a rare. Looking really cool, actually. Who else have we got? I don't know if CRS is animated yet. She's not, but Damn, look how good the work was. Really, really great work. Tengu also not animated yet. Spot the thing that's super long.
His nose.
He's got such a long nose. I love it. Yeah, lots of new heroes being added in. We've got some here without portraits because they're literally fresh in. Like Sigurd here, who's coming with no eyeballs for some reason.
Oh god.
So all these things are kind of like coming in, being polished up.
Bobby.
Bobby here, look at this. Really, really great. So, you know, the heroes are coming in. We're getting ready for the alpha.
Maybe it wasn't this
We're
video.
also kind of playing with a bunch of things on combat. So
Oh, I
we're
lied.
constantly testing and sort of finalizing things. This is not the right screen, but who cares? Let me show you some combat. So we're kind of playing with cameras. We're playing with some of the sort of visual effects that we can do. So if you look here, this is kind of like that 3/4 camera where it's more not top-down view, but isometric view.
I don't know if I'd ever
Back
change the
view
camera.
here,
I don't really
and then
know if it
we've
matters.
got this kind of like cinematic view. And we've now got it to the point, I think, where 2x speed is starting to really feel slick as well. For a while, sort of, we were really having to rely on 1x speed whilst we were working on, you know, how it feels. But we're getting there on cameras and stuff. So, and then when the enemy attacks, you saw there, we kind of come behind.
Whoa.
Oh, Gilgamesh, laying down the smack. But yeah, we're getting to that point now where, I don't know, it just feels better when it's the enemy's turn. We kind of like come behind our team whilst the enemy come at us. And yeah, all these different things we're kind of playing around with. So lots going on. Gilgamesh laying the smack down and coming in with a big axe. Gotta love to see it.
I hope we get a
And
video
yeah, so
soon
I
explaining
guess
some
quite a
of the
short update from
debuffs.
me. Do keep an eye out in the next couple of weeks for those emails coming through, which will let you know when you're going to be part of the alpha.
Man.
And then we will ask for a reply to say, yes, I still want to be involved, so that we get the right sort of numbers going from Alpha 1
Maybe
to
I
Alpha
went too
2.
far back.
Anyway, that is going to be it from me today. Hope you enjoyed the video. I can't wait for you guys to get your hands on this. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.
I'm gonna see if I can scrub a couple other videos to try to find the pronunciation thing that I want to talk about. If not, we'll come back and we'll just talk about it. Okay, well, I found the video. I totally forgot that Simon had uploaded a like quarterly, hey, here's what's going on in Godforge to his HellHades channel. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but I am going to skip around to all the juicy bits. Because he talks about mainly the same thing. He's introducing the idea of the tower to everybody. A big thing we see, so we knew about this a while ago. I pointed this out in a previous video. I don't know if this is going to be everywhere, but it is likely that a majority of the game will be 5-person teams, or at the very least versus like a boss or something like that. Where previously we had seen only 4 slots. So this sort of just maybe cements that a little bit further. We get to see Quetzalcoatl. We get to see a couple characters here. Let's take a look at this.
Still making some tweaks to that type of stuff as we talk.
And there's
right
some
now.
abilities here too.
You know, being able to sort of go in to, I don't know, like a food champion and just be like, right, I just want to upgrade this champion.
He's a food champion.
And make
Spartan.
them ready. I can auto fill, you know, another food champion in
Okay,
there.
we just
fill
saw
them
this.
up, auto-fill
Anubis.
my
Nice.
food. Do I have enough food for the next level? No, I need to get one more. So all of these things are working as we would
I
want
hope
them
the
to work.
blood like
You
drips
know, all
from
of our
those mouths.
experience and gold
Kinda
and
cool.
all of the sets do what they say they're going to do. You know, I can then go.
I'm not
there's
going
some
to
visual-
granularly talk about all the different sets.
Me. Some small VFX in on heroes, but we don't have like the full VFX suite for our heroes in. Some have got more treatment than others. Like
Oh, Hell got some new stuff. Yeah. Like her like little wand
Hell here is
has some like
looking
lightning on it, and
really
it looks kind of like comic booky.
freaking
It looks really
awesome.
cool.
and it's got like cool idol breakers and stuff like that going off. So, you know, the Queen of Helheim is where it's at. Whereas someone who's new into the fray, let's see, someone like Ymir, one of our giants, is literally just T-pose still because he hasn't got his
T-pose.
full animations in yet. We do have some cool idol breakers coming in.
saw them with our
to
guy.
win Laura.
Oh,
You know, we got some.
this
things
was
where
funny.
It already looks.
I
cool,
like showing
but
off Pandora
it's not-
'cause they
it's
still
not
haven't fixed her
finalised.
mouth.
I'll show you another cool one. This is always a crowd favorite.
She looks so
Pandora.
cool.
Just really, honestly, quite stunning work.
Her
The
teeth.
box is unleashing something. We've got a
Some,
bunch
I'm
of
pretty.
fruit-
I think somebody in the comments mentioned like typical nerd gamer. Like in this video, I noticed there are jiggle physics. I will be playing this game.
Pandora
What the fuck?
here, looking cool. You saw Quetzalcoatl.
Come on. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here.
Got Shishi, who's like
Okay, so I don't fault Simon for saying she. So these are like the stone lions that you would see outside, like, you know, any typical like sort of historic building in China or whatever. They're meant to be like protectors, right? The name means stone lion. There's a very, very famous Chinese like tongue twister type of poem where it's like 60 or 80 words long or something like that. And every word is SHI with a different tone. So the issue, not the issue, but some of the difficulty that comes with learning Mandarin Chinese specifically is that there are tens of thousands of characters. So every word in this poem is literally just the word SHI. And you pronounce it like sure, like you would say maybe like I'm sure of something. You say it like that, but you say it with like a tone or a specific inflection. And it's the poem is like sure. Just the same sound across the entire poem. So the stone lions are called shi. I don't remember the tones exactly, but it's not she. And so we're talking about pronunciation stuff before, so I figured I'd bring it up again. All right, I think there's one more. No, there's nothing else going on in the video that we haven't seen. So I'm gonna end it here. Appreciate you if you made it this far. You're great. You're fantastic. I will see you in the next video. Hopefully we'll get some Friday leaks soon. Otherwise, we're going to be talking about whatever Simon decides to put out. Anyway, I'm rambling. Have a good night.